probably going to speak as a cyclist rather than a TD today. As an avid cyclist, I cycle here every single day from Clondalkin, so and I've been cycling all my life. I've never had a car in my life. I cycle everywhere, so I know what people in the public gallery are kind of thinking and all. And obviously, Deputy Troy, his motion is very, very good. I think there's. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. I think Deputy Troy, his motion is quite good. I don't think there's anything you could largely disagree with. And also with the Minister's statement, I think it's welcome. I'm trying to be positive as possible on this subject matter, but there's things to be very, very welcomed about the bus connects 200 kilometres of extra cycle tracks and so forth. So these things are positive for cyclists. It's not perfect by any means. It's quite dangerous to be a cyclist, and what's needed is cyclists to be kept safe and taken off the main arteries of the roads. And I think it would be safe to say there's a renaissance going on about cycling in Ireland. That's happened probably in the last probably 8 or 9 years because of the bike to work. I remember in the 1980s, everybody was cycling because of Stephen Rovich and Sean Kelly. There was a huge kind of explosion of cycling, but I think less so now. I think about 12% of people cycle to work every day, which is very, very good. And I think if you build it, people will use it. For example, the Grand Canal and the Royal Canal are the best greenways you can actually get. They will bring you from city centre to the Shannon. Largely 95% of it is off road, so it's very, very, very good, and we should utilise that much more. Also, the new greenways from Mulranny to Achill, the one in Waterford, are absolutely fantastic. The one in Waterford, from Waterford town to Dungarvan, is incredible. I have to say, it is incredible. I would urge anybody to do it, and you don't have to do it all. Do some parts of it, but it is a fantastic amenity for everybody, because the great thing about cycling is very egalitarian. Everybody can some way cycle, and they don't have to cycle the whole thing, but and it's great for families, and also it's great for tourism. Cycle tourism is going to be absolutely enormous in Europe, across the world, in Ireland. I think if we can gear towards more greenways, more cycle friendlies for commuters and tourists, I think Ireland could potentially be a mecca for tourism. We have a huge amount of roads in this country, secondary, third kind of roads, which they are unsafe, but cyclists do use them on kind of a large part. So there's a lot of potential out there, but the main issue is safety. And last year was obviously an annus horribilis for cyclists. There was, I think, 17 cyclists killed. Less so this year, but that's one too many. And people going to work, they put their helmet on, put their gloves on, and they expect to arrive in their workplace or a community, and they don't, and it's absolutely tragic, absolutely tragic. And if we can save one life by taking that person off the main road to a kind of a safer journey, I think that's what we should be doing as legislators. I'm not going to go into all the other things that we need to do. I think the government needs to take stock that at the moment we're far, far behind our European counterparts in relation to infrastructure for cyclists. I think at the moment we only spend 2% of transport capital. I know cycling groups are asking for 10% of that, so we need to spend obviously 5 times more. And even in the UN environmental programme, that calls for 20% transport to be spent on walking and cycling. So it makes it safe for those who are trying to commute, and for leisurely purposes as well, because cycling is a fantastic occupation. It's a fantastic sport. It's a fantastic way of actually getting from A to B. It's great for our mental health. It's great for the environment. It's carbon neutral. It's like it has everything. Cycling has everything. It's just what we need to do. We need to catch up with most of Europe and kind of give cyclists a kind of a safer environment. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was very, very lucky. I was in France. There's a green cycle route. It's the longest cycle route in Europe, and it's 1,400 kilometres long. It goes from Roscoff to the Basque Country. I was very lucky to do it 3 or 4 years ago. It's incredible. France is an amazing country for cyclists. It's geared for cyclists, and cyclists almost almost take precedent than the car. And I think if we can get to that position, we're probably way behind them, but I think with kind of vigour and kind of cross-party consensus, I think we can get to a point where cycling for everybody can be fun, it can be safe, it can be accessible for everybody, and I think we can get to that to that position. So I would welcome the debate that's going on about cycling. I welcome the debate that's relating to this this consensus about cycling. I think I don't want to be political about it. I think as cyclists and as legislator here, I think we can play a part in making it safe as much as possible for cyclists across the country.